In this video, we're going to be looking at how to write equations of lines that are parallel to other lines. As you recall, parallel lines have the same slope. If one tilts that way, the other one must tilt that way so they do not intersect. So how do we find an equation of a line? Well, we're asked here, we want to find an equation of a line that goes to the point 2, 5, but we want it to be parallel to this line. Since parallel lines have the same slope, the first thing we need to do is find the slope of this line. And the easiest way to do that is to solve for y, because once it's solved for y, then it's in that form of y equals mx plus b. That coefficient of x is going to be our slope. So let's take 3x plus 7y equals 14 and get the y by itself. So I'm going to subtract 3x and I'm going to divide by 7. Now you should be able to identify the slope, which is the coefficient of x. So our slope is going to be negative 3 over 7, and our given point is 2, 5. Now how do you write an equation of a line given a slope and a point? We're going to use the point-slope formula. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Remember, this is our x1 and our y1. And then we want to write our answers in slope-intercept form. So again, we have to solve for y. So just like we did in previous videos, I'm going to multiply both sides of the equation by 7 to get rid of my fractions. On this side, that 7 cancels. I want to distribute that negative 3. And then I'm going to start solving for y. Now your final answer, that slope, should be the same as what you got into the original line they gave you, negative 3/7. Again, that's not 100% check, but at least you know you're on the right road. So remember, our steps are find the slope of the given line by solving for y, then use that slope and the point in the point-slope formula, and then write your answers in slope-intercept form. Now we're going to look at two other examples that should be a little bit easier. We want to go through the point negative 4, negative 9, but it's parallel to y equals to 2. You've got to know that y equals to 2 is a horizontal line. That goes this way. So all other horizontal lines would be parallel. So if I want something that's parallel, I want another horizontal line, and that's always y equals to a number. What number is that? It's what y is, the given point, which is negative 9. That's almost so easy it's hard, because you have to memorize the fact that horizontal lines have that equation y equals your y coordinate. So now we have, through a point parallel to x is equal to 8. You've got to know that that is a vertical line. So all other vertical lines would be parallel. So we want a vertical line that goes to the point 7, negative 2. So that equation is x equals 2. And then what is your x coordinate? It is 7. That's all there is to it. So parallel lines have the same slope. Again, you have to know that horizontal lines are y equal, vertical lines are x equal. Now let's look at perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines, yes, they do meet at a 90-degree angle, but their slopes are opposite reciprocals, meaning if you have one slope of 2 over 3, that opposite reciprocal would be negative 3 over 2, meaning you're going to flip it, that's the reciprocal part, and you're going to change the sign, that's the opposite part. So we're going to find an equation of a line that's perpendicular to the given line. So in example 1, we want to go through the point 2, 5, but we want it perpendicular to y equals 4x minus 5. So the first thing we need to do is find the slope of the given line by solving for y. Hey, but that's already done for us. Remember that y equals mx plus b. That coefficient of x, that's going to be our slope. That's the slope of the given line. But now we need to find the opposite reciprocal of that slope, and I'm going to label it with that symbol, meaning perpendicular. Well, how do I flip that? Put that over 1. So the reciprocal is 1/4, and the opposite part would be the negative. Now we're going to use the slope that we just found, the perpendicular, and the given point, 2, 5. Remember that's x1 and y1, and we're going to use that point slope formula. So we have y minus 5 equals negative 1/4 times x minus 2. And again, I'm going to choose to multiply by that denominator. Those are going to cancel. Be careful, don't lose that negative. Distribute. And now we need to write our answer in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to add 20 to both sides to get that y by itself. The last step is to divide by that 4. Now you can leave that as negative x over 4, but I'm going to go ahead and write that as negative 1/4 x. There is a 1 there, plus now 22/4. We could reduce that, and we should. That would be 11 over 2. So our slope, as you see, is negative 1/4, which matches what we need. That's that opposite reciprocal of the given line. We started out with 4. That's the slope we would use if we wanted it parallel, but this is the slope we would use if we want something perpendicular. And then of course our y-intercept would be 11/2. So let's do one a little bit harder. Right, so the first thing we want to do is we want to find the slope of the given line, and we do that by getting y by itself. Be careful of those signs. Okay. So this slope is 3/5, but the perpendicular slope, we take the reciprocal, flip it over, and take the opposite sign. Now, if this slope was already negative, then the perpendicular slope would be positive. Again, you take the opposite sign. We have a point, negative 7, 2. So this is the information we're going to use in our point slope formula. So I'm going to multiply by that denominator, cancel those out, distribute that numerator, and solve for y. So I'm going to add 6, and then I'm going to divide by 3. And there's my final answer. So again, I wanted a line that's perpendicular to this line, so I have to find the slope of that line and then take the opposite reciprocal to get something perpendicular, use the given point in that point slope form, and then solve for y. Okay, so just like on the parallel, now we have perpendicular. So this is what kind of line? Yes, it's horizontal. I don't want something parallel to the horizontal line. I want perpendicular. So if you have a horizontal line, what would be perpendicular would be a vertical line. So this is where you have to know that's x equal to the x coordinate, which is negative 4. So here you're given x equals to negative 3, which is a vertical line. And if you want something perpendicular to a vertical line, that would be horizontal. And that horizontal equation is y equals to the y coordinate. So again, easy, but you need that memorization.